Cheers and welcome again to Christmas Caribbean Delights. And I must wish you all the best for the new year. Have a wonderful 2023. Now, today I'm going to share with you a recipe for a cherry pound cake, which you can make for your loved one during the Valentine. Valentine's are coming up. I mean, we just slide by all those other holidays, and then here comes Valentine, the love month. Now, so we're going to do a cherry pound cake with some lovely red cherries in there, and very decadent. It's going to be a moist but dense texture, and it's going to be a wonderful soft crumb that goes with it, and a sweet and buttery flavor. What else do you want from a pound cake? So let's go to those ingredients and make that cherry pound cake for your Valentine. So here we go with the ingredients. Now, obviously we'll need some flour. I have here 1 3/4 cups of flour. We have here teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, and a 3/4 cup of butter, softened butter. It has to be room temperature. Everything has to be room temperature when you're making this cake. I have here 3 eggs at room temperature. I have here 2 tablespoons of milk at room temperature. I'm using a carnation milk, evaporated milk right now, because I don't have any other whole milk. I'll use a tablespoon of this vanilla. I have a white vanilla which I got from the Dominican Republic. I mean, it's a wonderful product. And the cherries, which are the star of the show, the cherries. I had some cherries, some glazed cherries, which I cut into small pieces, and then I'll coat them with the flour so that they don't sink to the bottom. But even if they sink to the bottom, who cares? You know, they're already in there. But we just want that look. So we don't want them to sink all of them to the bottom. So they must be on the, and in the cake at various areas in the cake. Now, how you deal with the cherries? You have those cherries in that if you get the cherries, the Muscerino cherries, which are in that that glaze, that sauce, that liquid, you have to drain that liquid out. When you drain that liquid out, you rinse them off. Rinse off those cherries, rinse off the rest of the liquid, and then you set it to dry. You let it dry for a little, and you can pat it dry with a paper towel. Pat it dry with a paper towel, because you don't want any more. You don't want all that extra moisture, because you have your moisture going on right here. So once you pat it dry, then you'll add the flour. You reserve a tablespoon of flour from the mix, and you mix that flour into the cherries. And this is going to assist it from not dropping into the bottom of the cake when the cake is baking. So we just have to coat them with that flour. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll set this aside. Okay. So right now to our stand mixer. We're going to use a stand mixer today. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can use a hand mixer, or one of those hand mixers things. But first, we're going to get our flour all sifted. 1.5 cups of flour, a cup and 1 3/4 cups of flour. And we're going to get that sifted along with the salt, all the dry ingredients here, the baking powder and the sugar. We're going to put them all in there. And we're going to do that little sift thing and let it all mix in very thoroughly. See, it's all gone. All right. Okay. So, right, before I forget, your pan, always preheat your oven. Number one, preheat your oven to 350. And number two, set your pan. You have to get your pan ready, because once you're done with this, you just want to pour it in here and just go to the stove, go to the oven and put it in. So what I did, I buttered the pan, and then I placed a piece of parchment paper in the bottom, so that just to ensure that the cake does not stick to the bottom of the pan. And once I did that, I buttered the paper also. Okay, so this is prepared. So now in here, I'm going to fit my my mixer with a paddle, with the paddle attachment. But before I do that, the flour goes in. And this is a method that I have on my channel already. I do the flour and the butter first. The flour of the dry ingredients with the butter first. That's where I start with this cake. And the reason I do that is, and I found the results are really, really wonderful, because the crumb is better. You get the outside of the cake, that brown part, that nice little, that everybody likes. It has such a wonderful taste and flavor and texture, and that comes from mixing the dry ingredients with the butter and not holding back anything. So we're gonna put the flour in there with the thing, because normally you would do the sugar and the butter and you'll mix that until it's really, really light and all that stuff. But now we're gonna do flour, baking powder, sugar, salt, and then put the butter in there, and we're gonna let it go and mix until that's nice and light and fluffy. Okay, so let's do that, and then come back. When we come back, we'll start adding the eggs, right, and our other ingredients. See you then. And so once this gets to a nice smooth sandy consistency, because the sugar is in there, so you're going to feel that grain in there, but it should be smooth. Then we start adding the eggs one at a time. Okay, so we add one egg. And once that egg gets mixed in, we'll add the second egg, and we'll do that for the three. So I've added all the eggs. 3 eggs are in there, and it's getting nice and smooth. At this point, I'm going to stop, scrape down the sides, and then I'll lift the temperature, the speed. I'll raise the speed to like a medium high, so that I can aerate the eggs and get it to that cake texture. So we're gonna scrape down the sides and get let's get that going. See, it looks nice and smooth. Yeah, lovely. Try to get whatever is on the paddle around the sides of the bowl. Don't forget the bottom, because a lot of times the paddle does not reach the bottom, and then you get some dry stuff in the bottom there. So you don't want that happening. Right? Just clean your spatula off on the paddle of itself. Right. Okay, so we'll just go back in. Now we'll raise the temperature. Not the temperature, sorry. We'll raise the speed from a medium low to a medium high. And let some air into the eggs and the flour. So that's what's gonna give us the cake texture. Okay, so let's close this down, and we're gonna go to maybe 4, just 4, and give it some good. So that's gonna go for about a minute or so, 5 for a minute or so. Get some air in there, and then I'll be back. After about 1 minute of mixing, it's nice and smooth. And then I'll add the milk. 3 tablespoons of milk. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. A lovely white vanilla. Slow it down. The cherries. We'll add the cherries. We're gonna add these cherries in here. We want the coated cherries with the butter, with the flour. Just add those in. And then we'll mix to combine. Just let that mix to combine. And we're good to go. We'll scrape down once again. We'll just scrape down once again. And just let that mix in. Get everything incorporated. And then we pour it into the pan, and that's it. So I go in the oven, 350, for about 60 to 65 minutes, and then we'll test it. Once a toothpick comes out clean, we know it's ready. So here we go, into the oven, 350 degrees for 60 minutes. So here we go, guys. This is the finished product. This is my cherry pound cake. And we're gonna cut into it to see what the inside looks like, and if we have those beautiful cherries in the right place. So my cherry pound cake for Valentine, for the Valentine season. Ooh. You're looking good here. Let's take another slice. It's nice and light. There we go. So all the cherries are in the right place. And like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. And we'll taste this in a moment. So here we are. We're going to do that taste test right now. Hey, the cherry pound cake that you can do for the Valentine love of your life. You see all those red cherries in the right place. Wonderful. Like cherry pound cake. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Bon appetit.